welcome into another episode of Carpooling with Ben. Today, I am privileged to have Mrs. Rhonda Ziehl joining me in the car today. Now, a few episodes ago, I had her husband, Bill, in the car, and, I would love to get the entire Ziehl family in here, but one of them, he's out touring right now.
He is.
And, which makes Rhonda the perfect person to speak about Rhode Island Blue Star Moms. Rhonda, thanks so much for coming in the car.
Thank you for the...
Well, first off, let's Nick.
Yes.
He is in the...
Air Force.
Air Force. You were in the Air Force.
Correct.
And your husband was as well.
Correct.
Okay, so a full family of service here, folks. How does the Rhode Island Blue Star Moms program work, and how does that tie in on a national basis?
Okay, Rhode Island Blue Star Moms is a chapter of Blue Star Mothers of America, Inc. A Blue Star mom is the parent of anyone who's serving in the military, whether it's active duty, Guard, Reserve, or they're a veteran. So any child that has done a stint has a Blue Star parent.
Okay.
It just happens that there are Blue Star dads,
Yep.
But Blue Star moms feel everything differently.
Sure.
We are not just a support group for military moms. We support the military family. We definitely support our veterans, and we definitely support our Gold Stars, which a Gold Star is when they've lost an immediate family member in action. So when you'll see our Blue Star logos. That's that we have somebody in the military or has served in the military. When you see the blue field covered up with the Gold Star, you'll know that they lost somebody in the military.
Years ago, there were a lot of different things that people would do. There was a song, Tie a Yellow Ribbon.
Yep.
And that was anybody could support. But if you drove by a house, you would see possibly a flag like that hanging in the window.
Correct.
And you knew that, okay, they're in service at that time.
Right. We still fly the banner in windows today. You'll drive by neighborhoods and you'll see it, and it does mean that their service member is deployed.
Yep.
We'll hang this banner, you'll see it on vehicles, we wear the pins.
Mm-hmm.
That means we have a child in the military, an immediate family member in the military. But when you actually see it hanging in a window, it does mean that they're deployed. So we do ask that you say a little extra positive thought prayer for them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Coming into the season, there's always the argument, Memorial Day is remembering those who have passed.
Absolutely.
And then July 4th. But you know what? Regardless, we're coming into a very patriotic season. Culminates with 4th of July, and then we go into Labor Day and Veterans Day in November. We really should take the time to think about those who are serving all the time, and there are different ways that you can get involved and help support groups like Blue Star Moms. How are some of those ways that people can get involved?
This weekend, we'll be at the air show.
Okay.
So we don't know our booth number yet, but we'll be at the air show this weekend.
All right. If you're watching in the lines of traffic, we're on the free trains, but in the future, other events coming up.
We do smaller fundraising for the Blue Star Moms specifically, but we are definitely involved. We get involved with Dare to Dream Ranch. We help out with Operation Stand Down. Again, our mission is to support our active duty, our active duty families and our veterans. So through that, we spend a lot of time volunteering our time with Operation Stand Down. This coming week, with Memorial Day coming up, we do have the boots on the ground between the gala on Thursday and then the incredibly, incredibly impressive boots on the ground memorial display over at Roger Williams Park at the Temple of Music.
Right. That's always such a moving tribute.
It is our second year, and it's incredible. That Sunday of Memorial Day, we'll have a band. The band will be there, so we're actually going to have a concert in the park for that. We do, Dare to Dream Ranch will act as a referral when moms aren't sure, where else to turn for, things that their children need or what they need, or sending out care packages to not just our deployed, but also to any of the military members that aren't living in the state of Rhode Island. We have a very large contingent of Guard and Reserve here. They deploy, they're gone. We also have a very large contingent of Rhode Islanders that are based elsewhere. They don't live in the state, so they get their packages. We do that through our own package sending throughout the year, but also through Operation Holiday Cheer, which is in November.
Okay.
So that's still run by the Lieutenant Governor's Office, which is a phenomenal 2-day event. It's absolutely incredible, and to see the people come out, and if you listen to the news too much, you can get into the rut of, nobody cares about the military, nobody's paying attention to them. They forget that, people, it's easy for them to say, put boots on the ground, send people in to fight this. It's different when you have skin in the game.
Sure, absolutely.
So we feel that differently. We watch the news differently. Just like anything else, when you're in that, you feel it differently. And that's where the support of the Blue Star Moms comes in, and the fact that we are a chapter of a national organization that's been around since World War II.
Wow.
The Rhode Island chapter is now 11 years old. And actually next Sunday we'll be celebrating our 3rd year as a Rhode Island holiday. It's always the Sunday after Mother's Day. Rhode Island, we had the signing for the Blue Star Parents' Day.
You were there?
Yes.
You were there.
Yes.
You made sure that ink hit the paper and it stayed. Absolutely. It wasn't a disappearing ink pen. There was no funny business.
That's right.
You were on it.
And I have the pen too. I kept the pen.
Even better.
So again, we try to stay busy. We'll do our own, painting parties or our own get-togethers, and not just to, again, we need to support each other. We need to stay strong for our service members. We need to keep our sanity. It's different when your child is deployed. You said, Bill and I were both in the military, and it was definitely easier. Like anything, it's easier when you're the one doing it.
Sure. Than
having your child off and doing it. And,
That's such a, unique mentality. It's, I'd rather be there than
Absolutely.
your child.
Absolutely.
That's the parent mentality.
Right.
And you've been there.
I've been there. Definitely not, not in a wartime like what we're dealing with now, which, most of the kids that are serving now have never known anything other than war.
Right.
But you go through the months of no contact, which is for their safety.
Yeah.
There's nothing, their safety is far more paramount than my curiosity.
Sure.
So when people ask us, where is he? You don't know. And it's not that he can't trust us with that knowledge. It's none of our business.
Right.
And that's a hard thing as a parent, that when, they took the oath and Uncle Sam became their primary provider.
Sure.
When that happened, you don't know what goes on. You don't, and you don't need to, it's hard, especially as a mom who's used to knowing what's going on and making sure everything's getting done and everything's okay, and now all of a sudden you're going, I don't know.
Who knows Nick better than you, right? Who knows Nick better than you? Hopefully he has the opportunity to watch this somehow, through the interwebs perhaps, maybe. You were saying about some of the things, and perhaps you understand it a little better because you were a mom who served at one point. Your husband served. But for those parents and moms who really, this is their first foray into having somebody in the family that is active military, you guys, and you women in the Blue Star Moms, you become a support team for each other. And what is that like? I mean, I understand that there'll be a lot of private conversations that happen, but how critical is that to the parents' well-being while their child is deployed?
It's essential, and it's not just through deployments. You have that more with your Guard and Reserve and with any active duty that deploy. But for a lot of us, our kids aren't home.
Okay.
So you've got the differences of, the holidays or just a Sunday dinner or, anytime. You can't just easily pop over and see your child.
Sure.
So you definitely feel it more during deployments. The stress level is up, but the sisterhood that's there because our children took the oath to serve in the military and to protect the United States. Our friends are dear, and they try to understand, and they're there.
Sure.
You guys, you're there, you understand, and and you're comforting. But when you're in a room of moms that just get it, they understand the tears that just happen. They understand that, my famous one is Captain Crunch. It was Nick's first deployment, and I was in the grocery store. Everything's great. I think I've got everything under control. Bull by the horns. It's all good. Walk by, I'm walking in the cereal aisle, and Captain Crunch is on sale, and I lose it. Absolutely call up Bill, crying. Bill's like, what's wrong? Like, Captain Crunch is on sale, and he's so good because he's not laughing outwardly, and he's comforting. But moms get that, They understand it. When
Bill understands that
Bill
Captain
understands.
Crunch cuts the roof of your mouth too.
Yeah,
I love Captain Crunch, but never a fan of that cutting the roof of your mouth feeling.
But he'll still eat it. He'll still eat it. So will Nick.
So would I. I'm not going to turn it down.
When we did Holiday Cheer a couple of years ago, part of what's in the packages is coffee syrup, which you can't beat a taste of home. Coffee syrup, you just can't beat it in the Dunkin' Donuts. So one of the moms had told us, she's like, she got this call from her son who was he'd been, on a tough deployment. He was bummed out, and he gets this box and it's got, coffee syrup, and he's explaining to everybody what it is, and they're all trying it and they're doing all, and she's like, he was so happy and so excited, and it was coffee syrup that did it. It was the box from home, but it was the coffee syrup. So now she goes into the store of coffee syrup, and that makes her cry. That's the trigger. For some, it's a song, but we understand that. So people will watch this and they'll be like, okay, you guys are crazy. Yeah, we are. Our stress level is higher. We feel things differently. We watch things differently. Our starting stress line is just higher. So it is that little stuff that can put you over the top, make you miss them more, make you appreciate them more, make you, feel more. So when you're able to be in a room and people just get it, they just get it. It's so incredibly comforting. And every year, Blue Star Mothers of America has an annual convention. So this year it's in New York City. We get together, and now you're instantly, you see the pin. So you're in the airport, and you see the pin, and you're like, you're a Blue Star mom, and now you're talking, and everybody, and it's an instant camaraderie. It's an instant sisterhood. It doesn't matter where you come from. It's just you all have that same thing in common, and it doesn't matter if your child is just now in basic training or if they've been out, if they're guard, reserve, it doesn't matter the branch, although, we will bust on each other for the branches because, everyone has their own preference.
I heard Air Force is the best.
Well,
that's what I heard.
Absolutely. We are the kinder, gentler.
That's right. That's what I heard.
We are.
I don't want to, listen, the Marines are great. I work with the Marines all the time with Toys for Tots.
Yep.
Wonderful people. Yep. The Army, cool people.
Absolutely.
They get those Humvees and everything. The Navy, they swim. And
they're gonna love that.
the Coast Guard, protectors of the homeland. Yeah. So, but I heard the Air Force was
at least until I get out of the vehicle.
Right, exactly. I mean, it's
they're number one right now.
It is what you want it to be, ladies and gentlemen. It is what you want it to be. I'm driving away from the water now just to get closer to an airport. Absolutely. Whew. All right.
You thought this would be easy.
There's going to be a lot of editing on this episode. Goodness. I'm sure that there's a point where people come up to you and say, I understand what you're going through. I have a friend whose son. How hard do you have to bite your tongue?
You appreciate all the support.
Yeah.
And the fact that people are willing to try to understand means a lot.
Sure.
It's the people that don't try. And it's like with anything, it's a way of life. It's, couldn't be prouder of my son and everybody that served, because you know the risk that you're taking, you know what's involved, and none of us ever want to be a Gold Star, and that's why we cherish our Gold Star families. They've paid the ultimate sacrifice so that we can drive along and laugh about everything and enjoy our freedoms. So no, we appreciate anybody that can understand or try to understand, because it does take a lot to try to understand. Some days you do have to bite your tongue. It's like with anything, okay. But no, we appreciate anybody who tries to understand.
That's great. If people want to learn more and get involved with what you guys are doing, aside from signing their own child up for a branch of service, but if people want to reach out and support, the efforts that are being done here in Rhode Island, what's the best way for a person to get in contact?
We have a Facebook page, which is Rhode Island Blue Star Moms. Okay. And then our email for any parents that are, that need the help, that need the support, is ribluestarmoms@gmail.com. Okay. And then we also have a website, ribluestarmoms.com. And then, find anybody that has, that wears the Blue Star, that, has one of the banners on their car. We'll see different things in windows and Blue Star moms are great stalkers. We really are great stalkers.
All right.
You know, you'll see something that says, I'm proud of my airmen, I'm proud of my Army, you know, and all of a sudden you're like beeping at them, and you have that instant camaraderie.
That's great.
You know, you'll leave, you know, because we've got flyers, we've got the pamphlets, you know, so you'll leave a little piece of information, you know, hey, thank you for your child's service, and, you know, here's a flyer. If you need anything, reach out.
Sure. Because
So,
you never know. I mean,
You never
sometimes
know.
there's so much happening in life. We're so busy nowadays that, you know, it's, and you know, if people have a big family or a large group of friends, you know, they feel like they have that support. So maybe they don't necessarily reach out to
Yep.
the organization right away, but it could be that sort of, you know, just that gentle reminder to those families and to those people that, hey, you've got people here who are
There's support out
supporting
there.
you.
There's definitely
And
support out there.
you know, that's critical and important. Another thing people may not be aware of is at TF Green Airport, there is a lounge there specifically for members of the military.
Correct.
Furnished by Cardi's.
Yes,
The
yes.
guys in the back seat there.
Phenomenal. Beautifully furnished.
And it's really incredible. So what happens in that room?
We actually have 2 rooms, which again, Cardi says beautifully furnished in
Okay.
the airport. We're actually located behind the Delta ticket counter on the concourse, the primary floor. So we're outside of TSA, which the airport has been phenomenal with getting, you know, service members into there, helping get the airport known, the lounge known throughout the airport. We always need volunteers. Can never have enough volunteers. Can't
Okay.
say that enough. But the Rhode Island Military Organization actually spearheads the lounge at the airport, and it is a safe haven for any veterans. We're not a USO.
Okay.
The USO had said that we were too small for one, so this was actually a grassroots startup for a military lounge where
And it took a while to get it off the ground.
It did take quite a while, and a lot of people were involved, a lot of heart, soul, you know, a lot of time and energy to get it up and running. And now it's been up almost 3 years now. So we've had close to 8,000 visitors that have come through. That's just the military members. Yeah, it's incredible. It's a really great safe haven for them. We've got, you know, coffee, tea, sundries. It's just a quiet place. Cox donates the cable for it, which is phenomenal. Cardi's did all the furnishings. We've got the TVs donated. They can just go and get away while they're waiting for their planes to come in. And
Sure.
and they've done, unlike a USO that only allows active duty in there, anybody who's done one stint, you know, as long as you've got some validation of being affiliated with the military,
Yep.
they're allowed in. So the dependents, you know, they've got their ID cards, they come in. So you will have families come in. It's also a great place for the see you laters. For us military, you know, parents that need a quiet place to, you know, because our kids definitely don't like us standing at the gate as we're sobbing as they're getting on the plane. They definitely prefer to leave us outside TSA and and do the see you laters in private. So it's a homey area for them. It's a quiet. They can, you know, be on their laptops, be on their whatever they want, watch TV, watch movies, and just chill out and relax while they're waiting for their plane to board.
Sometimes when they're in transit, you know, that's a good spot for them because they may be coming home for an emergency or they just need a place to kind of get out of
Civilian.
just get out of the busyness and just kind of have that space. If people want to learn more about that, obviously they can connect through you guys.
Yep.
You know, if you want to do something cool, next time you go fly out of TF Green, get there a few minutes early and just poke around in there. Just look and just take a quick view of it and see exactly how that whole facility is set up, because it really does make a huge difference when you actually see it and recognize the service that's being provided there and what's offered. You know, you never know. You may be able to relay that information to somebody that you know or a family member of somebody and help spread the word, because it's such these services, they're not out there every day beating the drums, pounding, saying, hey, look at us, look at us, look at us. It's that silent service.
Right.
And but these resources are there, and that's what's so important.
And we're a tight-knit community. You know, the veteran community is a tight-knit, so if one of us gets a call out that somebody needs an assistant or, you know, they need help with something, you know, the call goes out to a bunch of the organizations to rally everybody and who's got the best resource, who can do, you know, how do we get this done, you know, and what's the quickest way to get it done in the best way possible. So
Excellent, excellent. Well, Rhonda, thank you so much for taking some time and riding, and thank you to you and Bill for your service, and for Nick's service. Nick, who is, I'm sure, not watching. I'm sure he's focused thoroughly on his work and making sure he doesn't slack
Let's
off.
hope so.
Yeah, absolutely. No, he's a good guy.
He's a good guy.
He's a good guy. So,
We'll keep
Rhonda, thank you so much,
Thanks.
and be sure to check out Blue Star Moms on Facebook. Like them, follow them, show them some support. It'd be greatly appreciated.
Thank you.